These are my dark and paranormal romances. I'll start with Lights Out. This is a stalker romance, um, but it's funny. The audiobook for this was hilarious. I think just my overall enjoyment of it is what put it on this list. It's not as dark as it sounds, which is also probably why I enjoyed it so much. It's a good time. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I finally jumped on the Chantal Tessier train and I devoured The Ritual, The Sinner, and The Sacrifice. All right, I didn't read a lot of paranormal romances in 2024, and I think all of the ones I read ended up being 3 stars, which is why Bride by Ali Hazelwood is my favorite book. I think Bride is Ali's best book so far. I think Bride is the culmination of Ali's growth in character arcs and plotline. This is her first fantasy. They are rival families and there is an arranged marriage, and it goes from there. I read a lot of new authors in 2024, but I have a favorite, and I think that is very obviously Ashley Poston. She is an auto-buy author for me now. Seriously, it is like when I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab and I fell in love with her prose. This is just like that. I have one book that is an honorable mention, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Like I said earlier, I really went hard into epic fantasies and I dabbled in sci-fi. Like, I know everyone says this, but it's a good book. It's a really good book. And I think Red Rising is a really good crossover for fantasy readers who want to read sci-fi. Okay, I could not decide for one book to be my favorite book of the year. So I have two. They are Quicksilver and The Sword of Kaigen. I really enjoyed this one, and I still think about it. I wish I could reread it and experience it for the first time again. The Sword of Kaigen is probably one of my favorite books of all time. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that because even after so many months of reading it, and I will still occasionally think about it, the last time that happened to me where I was still thinking of a book months after, it was Manacled. And I read that 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So for how much of an impact this book has had on me, I think this is one of my favorite books of all time. That is all for me. What was your favorite book of 2024?